Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the 7% Solution. This is Sean.
This is Eric.
And this is Josh.
And today we're going to be talking about The Woman in Green. Not Sherlock Holmes, The Woman in Green, as the Blu-ray seems to think that this is the name of it, but The Woman in Green.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And yes, The Woman in Green, which is available for anybody if you just go to this any Sam Goody, or if it still exists.
Yeah,
and your Barnes and Noble, you can get Woman in Green colorized. Actually, you can get it colorized. You can get it regular, and it can be sold by just about anybody because it is free to print and sell.
Yeah. So I actually owned this on. Well, we'll get to it when we start playing the film. All right, everybody, unsheath your legally purchased Blu-rays and or DVDs and legally bought digital copies. We are going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play. Universal.
So, Sean, why didn't we count back from 10? No, I'm just kidding. All right, so I pressed play. There was a little bit of a delay.
Oh, you're probably with me then.
Okay, because I'm usually off anyway. By the way, it says Universal, then it says Universal Presents. Like, do we need both?
No, but I don't know, Hollywood types, you know.
This is 1945, I believe.
Yes, it is.
We are in 1945, coming to the end of the series. Oh, by the way, it's not just The Woman in Green. It's, quote, The Woman in Green, unquote. Which is interesting because this whole movie's in black and white. So how do we know that she's in black?
Yeah, it should be The Woman in Gray, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. Henry Daniell, who played in, he's been around a little bit. He played in Voice of Terror as the guy who sort of followed them when they went down to the Christopher Docks. And he's the third Moriarty in the series. Is it third? Yes, third Moriarty in the series.
I found this very jarring how this began with this voiceover.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was like, wait, what's going on? Where's Sherlock Holmes? Who's this guy? I don't know if I stock footage. I don't know if I'm going to like this one. Where's The Woman in Green?
Yeah, this is kind of a weird start, you know, where the police... It's more like a kind of a Jack the Ripper type of... It is Jack the Ripper, quite, you know, idea here. But we don't even have Lestrade in this one. We have... what's his name? Hopkins?
Gregson.
Oh, Gregson, right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at this. They're going to close the window.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this. They really, really needed to fill some time here.
They totally did need to fill some time. I mean, how long is the movie again?
Oh, God.
67 minutes?
Like 67 minutes?
Yeah, they really needed to fill some time. That's why they had the little window scene and this guy being cold.
Or there's a certain... Well, we'll get there.
Well, I wanted to say that I'm all in at this point. Like, I thought this was a very intriguing opening. This opening, compared to others we've seen, especially recently, I felt like it was trying to start off like more serious and more, hey, we're not fooling around. We're getting back on task here. We're gonna take our job seriously, and I thought this was gonna be like a more elevated Holmes entry.
I like this little guy here.
Oh, absolutely.
It's got the Napoleonic complex going here.
Yes, played by Michael Myers. Not many people know that.
Mike Myers.
Or Mike Myers, I should say.
Mike Myers, not Michael. He's the...
Michael Myers is the,
Right.
the killer.
No, I just love a massive map that's so big, but placed so that no one can really see it.
Right, and you're standing there with your arms folded. I've used that before, by the way. That's a really good...
I'm doing that right now.
I like that. That's very, very clever. But I mean, clearly we're walking into kind of a Jack the Ripper kind of situation. It's like it fits Holmes very well. If they hadn't like had a Jack the Ripper kind of scenario here, I would have been disappointed.
Yeah, and the censors weren't really fond of this premise at the time.
Well, you know what? Originally, actually, they were going to be killing little girls. They were going to. It's going to. The original script around this was going to be young girls, so they were going to be like 12, 13 years old. So they switched that up, which is probably a good idea.
Yeah, that's.
It's like Suspiria all over again.
I was going to say M.
Okay, so essentially, it's still the narrator over the story. It's like, when is the story going to start? Where we're going to actually hear people talk? Where's the dialogue?
Oh yeah, there. You know what? And you could do the story in like one sentence. There's not much of a story in here at all. There's water dripping on his back, by the way. Do you see that?
Yeah, on the shoulder.
On Basil Rathbone's back. Yeah.
Yeah, what's also interesting is, when you hear the dialogue for this, you can tell that it was the original dialogue when they had it as a young girl. So watch how everybody reacts.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yep. Watch how everybody reacts. It's almost like she's very young, right?
Yeah, and he says something like, "Oh, she reminds me of my sister's girl," or something. Like
Yep.
Yeah, it was weird. You know, Lestrade's been played by the same guy over all those episodes. They didn't want to let somebody else. You know, I'm sure the guy couldn't make it, so they had this guy fill in. You know, something like that.
Yeah,
because why not bring Lestrade back?
Yeah, I mean,
it really threw me off. Like later seasons of Love Boat, with the what do you call it? The entertainment.
The photographer, and
oh yeah, that as well.
And also not Julie, the
yes.
director.
Yes, but that's what it feels like later seasons of like old school sitcoms.
By the way, this is the greatest coincidence ever.
Yeah, that's kind of bizarre. I was going to say, though, I really admire this shot right here. It takes a very brave director to say, okay, we've got two characters. They're going to walk into scene, but we're just going to see their backs while they talk.
Yeah, totally true.
And it's not until they see the guy, Sir George, that they actually turn around. And the camera flips at this point. It's going to be from the bars. And by the way, I always wondered those soda things. Can you still buy them?
Yeah, I was going to mention that. That basically, if you wanted a whiskey and soda, the soda was right on the bar. If you wanted to add it, and there was no ice, so you got this little highball glass, and you just added the soda water yourself. It's wild.
I would love it. I mean,
I asked my father about that because I've never seen that before. And they're just drinking out of these highball glasses.
It doesn't look like much.
It's weird. Well, they got a shot in there, basically, and then you can put in how much soda you want.
So I actually like a lot of these directorial decisions, cinematography. Like I said, I'm fully into the movie at this point, and I think it mostly looks better than many entries in this film series. But there's a big but. I feel it's all though in vain and ruined because I find this movie entirely too bright. It is lit like a 80s sitcom, and I don't like that at all. And it was very distracting because I thought it really ruined the rest of the work that was put into the visuals in this movie.
By the way, you recognize, of course, the gentleman here with the lady who's considerably older than she is. He's been in so many Sherlock Holmeses up till now. I don't even want to describe it. I mean, he was in House of Fear just 10 minutes ago, playing Dr. Merivale. It's nice and familiar when you see folks like that. Oh, the maid is the most interesting character in this whole thing. She just kind of she's underneath a really terrible person because she's waiting for the whole thing to start too.
Mm-hmm.
And she plays the music, she does all that bullshit, and she knows what's going to happen here.
Yeah, a lot of smoking, cigarette smoking, I noticed in this. And also, it's weird when she just snubbed out her cigarette. It just happened to be on like the one loose brick of the set. Which
see this right here, drapes of the future.
By the way, Sean, do you like how she's about to fix her hair? It's great.
Yeah,
that works.
So
that's much better.
Coincident. Through one misstep or another, Tom was actually in the room when I was watching this part, and he said he notices things like this in movies. When they sit down on the in the couch, which they're going to do in a minute here, Tom goes, "What the fuck is that on the table?"
Like, that is true. That is a weird thing on the table. There's no doubt about that.
What the fuck did you put on the table? Okay.
By the way, she's in purple, not green here. Just so you know.
They never call her the woman in green in the story, do they?
Yeah, they don't.
No, they don't. They don't. There's no attribution to the woman in green. As a matter of fact, right here she's in purple, and Holmes even mentions that she's in purple. Or she might be in the purple, which is like a different thing altogether. Which means that she comes from money.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one he was referring to, what she was wearing, or whether now I'm starting to doubt it.
Well,
I like how she tells her to dim the lights, and I think she just completely turns the lights off. It's like, bitch.
In any light, this is like 1940s foreplay here.
Yeah, this is some hot stuff.
Play the little phonograph record in the hi-fi.
That is very interesting. When I rewatch this scene, knowing that the maid's in on it, that's very fun and interesting because you can tell she's like really paying attention because she's got to be there to help. Okay.
Oh, I noticed it on first watch. I mean, it was kind of obvious.
But you didn't know what was going to happen, Eric. I
didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew she was in on whatever. Like, I didn't think she was just concerned, like, oh, why is she bringing home this older suitor? No, it was, this lady had something to do with whatever's afoot.
See, I thought she was disapproving that, it was an older man.
She has a face. She has a resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was the same part in the other one, the House of Fear.
Yeah, but it's different actress, but yeah.
Oh, it is a different actress?
Yeah, it's a different actress. It is.
Oh.
You wouldn't think that because it seems like all servants have that look on their face.
There you go. That's why they have that weird piece on the table.
Yeah, to hypnotize. Just weird.
Look at the old Victrola. Isn't that something?
and that lamp.
Yeah. It looks like a lamp that would be like at a fortune teller's parlor, like.
Yeah, I mean, fairly modern stuff for the time in the room. Maybe slightly back into the 30s, I guess.
Oh, what was the movie we watched on Best Picture? Oh my god, we watched some movie, Sean, that was in black and white, and it was probably from the 30s, and the male in the movie had like a really, what was considered at the time futuristic, like bachelor pad. Can't think what movie it was that had a.
Oh man,
it might have been Love Affair, maybe.
I was just gonna say Love Affair
because that was 39, and like his pad was really advanced for the time, and stylistically it looked like it could have been from the 80s or something. 1980s.
This is from my perspective, this is another scenario where Holmes makes a couple of jumps in
logic
determining what was going on. He's like, this is a big thing that's happening all over. He's just already, he knows that, that there are several of these things occurring. But
Well, didn't they know that in the very beginning, in the opening? That's why they had all these guys on the case.
yeah, exactly. They knew that. So why even mention the fact that it might be something bigger? When it really ended up not being bigger, it was just an individual basis, you know? And by the way, they're nice enough to let him, like, find a bed to sleep in, you know?
Yeah. Not many know that Bill Cosby was a consultant on this production. Little known fact, a young Cosby.
I was going to say, though, it's a little Weekend at Bernie's. You're going to bring a drug guy to your bed and breakfast, and, like, that's going to be hard to pull off.
Well, this is the only Sherlock Holmes that I've ever seen that has pot, like cannabis in it.
Oh yeah.
Where? How? What? Who?
Oh yeah. It'll come up.
I'll show you when it comes up, Sean. Like, it's not obvious, but
Was it during the hypnotist?
Oh, I noticed it.
Was it during the hypnotist scene?
No. It was when she was hypnotizing Holmes.
Oh, okay.
She offered him some medicine, and it was called cannabis japonica.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So who knows if they put that in a drink or whatever, but again, like, you know, how much cannabis do you need to put in that drink to make him fall asleep and never, you know, not wake up easily and think that he murdered somebody? Edgware Road.
2 Bannerman Road.
13 Bannerman Road.
10 Bannerman Road, sorry.
By the way, this whole, like, them talking to each other as if they're both trying to keep it from each other, like, it's weird. Like, this whole, she doesn't turn to her and say, oh my god, he's at the door, or anything like that. It's like they're keeping the theater going at that point. Lord, she looks amazing there.
Yes, concur. She was.
There's an even better shot of her later when she's brushing her hair out. But just saying.
Yeah, this actress was actually a regular on the Abbott and Costello television show.
Yep, and she's been in Sherlock Holmes as well. You've seen her before.
Yeah. And the lady who played the last victim, the one that the policeman walks home, I think she's been in it too before, right?
No, I don't think so. I think she has a familiar face. She only ever starred in 2 other B movies besides this, and in her career just was like 44 to 45.
How do you know that?
I did research.
You just like pulled it out of nowhere, like you remembered it perfectly.
Yes, I remember.
Is it like that Tom Cruise movie where you've got everything and you're sliding it around? What's that Tom Cruise movie?
No, that's Minority Report.
Minority Report.
No, I just remember it because my first source said this was her only movie, but then I looked and no, she had 2 other B movies.
I mean, I will give it this, that this is a really interesting and really scary concept. Is that, you know, that you've lost 10 hours and you don't know what happened and you think you murdered somebody. Of course, there's no blood on him at all, right? Even though he took a finger out.
Yeah, don't get attached to this guy, folks, because he's just going to become a plot point in a minute out of nowhere. It's like he's frickin' Janet Leigh, and this is Psycho.
So this is Henry Danielle, who's now taking on the mantle of Moriarty, who, you know, we've seen a couple times in 2 very different types of characters. It's like he's regenerated.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't look anything like the last Moriarty, the Moriarty prior in Secret Weapon.
We all know he's really the master.
He's definitely the master. I mean, hey, look, you know what? I mean, Terrence Dicks watched these movies. You know? He did. They knew what they wanted. They knew what they wanted from the master. They wanted him to be Moriarty. So this is the blackmail scheme. it seems like a really good idea. It kind of could work.
Well, it's also an odious, horrible idea because you have to go out and kill people.
Yeah, well, yeah, but Moriarty doesn't care. I mean,
Yeah, he doesn't care.
To make some extra cash. A little
Oh,
extra cash on the side.
Here's Watson talking with his stomach again. No, it's so good, Holmes. You should try some of this. Oh,
Missing a treat. Jam charts.
They say fish is good for the brain.
Brains, I haven't had any. It's kind of weird, but okay. This is, they're trying to like a little bit more time. Stretch.
Yeah, Basil, could you walk around across the room slowly? Thank you, old chap. That's great.
Look at this. It's a woman driving her own car, number one. Okay? That doesn't happen.
Getting out on the wrong side of the car. Why didn't she just get out in the driver's door?
That was the driver's door.
No, she climbs over the passenger door and exit the car via the passenger door.
No, that's the driver's door.
That's the driver's door.
The steering wheel's right there.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, we're in London, man. We're in London. That's why.
And he noticed she's not wearing gloves, and that there's something in the bag she wants to show me. This is actually pretty good. That's not bad. This is good.
Yeah, this is good. It's him doing some cool detective work.
Yes, this is very good Holmes stuff here.
Suspicious man across the street.
Oh, the empty house. So this is just like there's a story in the first story in the Return of Sherlock Holmes is called The Empty House, which is an empty house across the street from Holmes, where Sebastian Moran, by the way, we will refer to him later in our series, but Colonel Sebastian Moran actually tried to kill Holmes from the empty house. Yeah, It's a real story. So this is part of, like, they actually pulled a piece of real Holmes stuff to show the empty house piece. By the way, this woman is quite attractive too. They really, they use the budget well in this particular story.
I'm thinking though, I'm like, okay, she's gonna bring him in a new case. He's gonna get involved and blah blah blah. No, this is it. This is all she gets to do.
Yeah,
no, that was an Amazon package left at her house. So,
I finally found it because she looks like a modern day actress to me, and it has been killing me trying to figure out.
Oh, did you figure out who she is? She didn't do very much.
No. I'm talking about. There's a modern actress who I think she resembles greatly.
That Fennec's daughter. This woman here.
Yes. I'm trying to see if this actress is. No, she hasn't been in anything that y'all had seen.
That's a nice shot, though. I love that. I love this shot. The director took full advantage of her face, which is a really good thing here, because they should have.
Yeah, there's an actress named Ruth Wilson, British.
Oh yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, she's in the first episode of Luther. Actually, she's in multiple episodes of Luther. And she was in the...
She's got a very strange face.
Yes, and she was in the film Saving Mr. Banks, the Disney movie. And this actress, she just looks like her to me. Something about her nose, mouth, something.
Do you think so?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so he's now, like, hypnotized, I guess? And...
Wait, yeah, what is he doing?
He's burying the finger.
Oh, that's right.
He's burying the finger right now. And she went out and found the finger.
I would have fed it to a dog.
Oh, I have.
So this Amazon package... Oh, it's not an Amazon. This package right here. This musical box.
Yeah. No, this is from Spencer's Gifts.
By the way, I say musical box because that should be a little tease for later on down the road. I don't know why I'm doing that, but...
Don't... Josh, don't tease me with your musical box.
Oh,
Love the set.
Sean. Yeah, beautiful set. Not using the same house as they could have used. Using a completely different house. Dad. But same doors. Look at the doors. Exactly the same as House of Fear.
She's like, he's not answering. Well, yeah, we.
I wonder, that's funny. He doesn't answer. I wonder how dead he is. Oh, Watson.
Leave her with the butler. Okay.
We'll leave her with the butler. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this set right here is from the House of Fear.
Yep. For sure.
It's nice to see Watson doing good doctor things instead of.
he's like dead. Really?
He's been shot through the back. Like the other two guys couldn't tell you. I mean, he's just a policeman, and
I was afraid of this.
yeah.
That's my favorite line in any movie. I was afraid of this.
Yeah, I was afraid with this. It's what happens when you let them play with dolls, and I don't know where
No, but that's beautiful. What you just said is beautiful. Okay, so the murderer apparently doesn't want Holmes to figure out like that she was with him at the bar, which he already knows that he was. I mean, he's listening in. So this is a red herring, you guys.
with the fact that the butler is listening in as a red herring.
Yeah, like it has nothing to do with anything.
Oh, because nobody ever. Okay, yeah.
Nice picture up there with the woman there. Maybe that was Sir George's first wife, maybe?
You think? It looks historical to me.
Everything looks historical. It's a movie from 1945.
I mean, like 19th century.
This was kind of dumb.
A death agony. I like that. Death agony.
Yeah, rigor mortis.
Please note that.
Okay, so wait, his one hand is on the his right hand's by the desk. His left hand's down below him. Why don't just look at his hand, sir? Stop talking like that. Oh, it's a clue. He meant for us to see that. Maybe he just
Sean, another matchbook.
What would we do without matchbooks in old time?
In Sherlock Holmes?
In everything.
I don't know. It ruins like too many ideas that they had.
I mean, nowadays, we don't really have matchbooks like we used to. Like, it's a lost plot device.
It's a lost wedding favor too, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's right. People used to.
My wife and I actually had not matchbooks, but like little paper that looked like matchbooks. That.
Yeah, now you have to get like custom printed like vapes to give out at your wedding.
I love that idea. Next time I get married.
Don't say that too loud.
She's not even home. I love that desk. That desk is awesome.
She's an avid listener.
Yeah. I often introduce her as my first wife, so it doesn't matter. Folks, calm down. I've been married for 26 years. I'm not marrying anybody else, okay? So just calm down.
If that makes them anxious, they haven't listened to the podcast before.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, calm down. I have an image of young Mr. Grace when the beeper's going on his chest. No? Just me. Okay. All right.
Sean, do you smell the faint odor of blackmail?
Sweet odor.
I believe I do.
That's a lot of cash, by the way. 10,000 pounds.
I was at a...
We call that, in America, we call that a shit ton of money. In 1945.
Oh, yeah, we got a shit ton of that shit back there. If you want any, you just go ahead and help yourself, sweetheart.
I mean, if you're going to pick somebody who can pay out 10 grand in cash, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. 1945. It's probably the equivalent. I don't know, Eric. You could look up the inflation rate. It's 1945. I figured you would be. I know you so well. The most brilliant and ruthless internet. The most brutal.
Sorry.
Forget it.
We don't want this to be Pirate Planet Part 2.
I know. I haven't even drank that much. That's what's screwing me up. By the way, he says he was hanged in Montevideo over a year ago.
They actually say Montevideo, which drives me crazy.
Oh, did they say Montevideo?
It should be Montevideo, right?
Right. It should be Montevideo, but they say Montevideo. Yep.
Good grief, 10,000 pounds.
What is it?
552K.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Oh, wait, that's in pounds. I didn't write that to dollars.
Yeah, so that's like $1 million.
552,000 pounds.
By the way, this scene here was from The Final Problem. So this is also legit kind of Sherlock Holmes. This is when Moriarty wanted to sit with Holmes, and he sent Watson off on a wild goose chase, essentially, which is what he's doing here too, so that they could talk. And also, he said, that he used Watson as insurance, so that if something happened, he would have killed Watson. Okay. Now
I'm just gonna say, if I was the patient and I saw him coming to my house, I'd be like, "Could we please send another doctor?" he just appears crazy there. He's talking to himself.
Well, you know what? He's before. Okay, so it's before the food pyramid, Sean.
Okay.
I'm just. Yeah, it is. Again, Watson. When you watch the Brett episode from The Final Problem, you'll see that Watson is a lot more like a doctor and not like a buffoon. But this same meeting between Moriarty and Holmes happened in The Final Problem, almost to a T from the dialogue. The dialogue is so similar. When you ever see the dialogue for The Final Problem, it is so similar to this. Really amazing. Amazing that they took a piece from the Empty House, which happened, by the way, right after The Final Problem, if you will, the next season. The Final Problem was Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, the end, the last story of Adventures was The Final Problem. The first story of Return was The Empty House. It's basically using plot points from The War Games and Spearhead from Space at the same time.
Can't think about that. Okay. So this actor, we've seen him before, right? On these,
yes.
He looks.
Yeah, he was in Voice of Terror.
Okay.
Yeah, he played. What was the guy's name? I'm trying to figure out. Trying to remember. But he's the one who followed them into where the Christopher docks were.
Okay. I think I remember that.
He was a part of the Intelligence Council. He was like questioning Holmes and stuff like that.
Oh, that's why he moved the chair, because it was blocking the window.
Yep.
Where the sniper. Okay. I'm like, oh, that's going to be important later on. And
yeah, that's a good point.
Look at this Dutch angle.
Yeah,
that's pre-Batman, ladies and gentlemen.
That is really interesting directing decision. But basically, that's how he's sitting. Like he's going to be looking out the window very soon. Right there.
And there's the bust of Caesar.
Yes.
That's mentioned later on. That somehow Holmes...
prominent men have prominent noses, Sean.
Oh, that was funny, I think.
Yes.
Because there is stuff in here that is just not funny at all. Like Watson, you'll find Watson. What? Like, oh, please.
What was he saying? Something like a fat woman shouldn't have little dicky birds.
Yeah.
And he's like,
should have little dicky birds.
He's like, something about the name Amelia, I think.
I don't remember.
Yeah, there was.
I don't. But
you would think that he like ad-libbed that. It feels so ad-libbed.
And he says that she weighs 14 stone. 14 stone. Now, 1 stone is 14 pounds, isn't it?
20.
20?
So she weighed like in the 190s in the pound scale.
Oh, shit. Man, I'm sitting over here. My fat ass is going to... I weigh 200. Maybe 210. I don't know. I haven't checked recently.
And Sean's 4'11", folks.
I will tell you that. Maybe I'll save this for that in the not in the podcast. I have the perfect diet food for everybody, and you're gonna love it. And I'm gonna leave the. Oh, by the way, he was also in Voice of Terror. This shoelace salesman with the switchblade.
The shabby man.
He always plays this role too. Like something like this. Shoelaces, governor?
I don't understand what he says to him. Something about tomorrow. I didn't get that.
Oh, you'll read his obituary in tomorrow's papers.
Who's a
In other words, Holmes's.
Oh, okay, I see.
This is when and by the way, I actually it's coming up now, but this is one of the times I actually laughed out loud in a Sherlock Holmes. Coming up very soon. This is like sent him on a wild goose chase.
Practical jokes. Rubble.
Some fool's idea of a joke.
Oh, is this where Holmes says something like, "Oh, I have a friend that they they were threatening to kill a doctor."
Oh yeah.
His name is
What? You didn't nab him? You didn't get him? Well, they were threatening a friend of mine. This is actually quite holding a friend hostage. Nobody very important, fat lazy fellow. Medical man? Do I know him? Oh yeah, I think you do.
His name is Watson. But Watson goes, "Who? Watson? What? Oh.
What? Me? Who? He's like kind of like he has a little William Hartnell in him, you know?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Like
He's really got to trim those eyebrows, though. Those are driving me crazy, and I know it.
That was the look, man. You were you were virulent if you had those type of eyebrows,
and more aerodynamic.
It's called the finger murders. God, I can't believe they got. By the way, he just like. I miss the matches you could just like, strike off of anything.
Yeah, when I first started smoking, I tried that. It does not work with.
No, it doesn't. But there used to be matches where you could do it.
And again, it would also smoke at work and in airplanes.
And in hospitals. And in shopping malls.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about Die Hard now, because this is... No, I'm not going to bring up the whole Die Hard thing.
But we almost did a callback to the smoking in airports, though.
Yeah, that was the Kyle Anderson thing from back in the day.
Smoking in airports? Never mind.
In those days, you could smoke in airports.
You had to be there.
Yeah, you had to be there. Oh, he just sent him across the street to go look at the empty house. Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right?
Right?
So, this is all to get him out of the house so that he could, put the bust of Caesar up there.
So that the guy won't shoot him. I don't know how he knows there's a shooter there, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, he just looked out the window and saw the window open. And then you have a picture of him grabbing a book.
And he sends Watson off across the street when he knows there's a frickin' sniper there.
Okay, so... this is when I laughed out loud. When I saw the little gorilla.
Somebody's pet, I suppose.
It's an umbrella stand. I love it. I want a gorilla umbrella stand. I'm gonna put that in my wish list. And it's so easy to get in. You don't have to pop the lock or anything. You just go in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there. Well, it's not well known, but in his older days, Watson was a skilled thief and pickpocket. That's what that was.
Oh, this is really okay. This is interesting. A rat, probably. But there's some guy going up the stair. Okay, so Moriarty actually arranged for, what was it, 10 minutes after he left? 15?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. There would be no time to like.
I mean, they could have stretched this out a little bit.
I think Moriarty had it all planned even before he went to go visit Holmes, because he said that comment about, his name being in the obituary. So I think the plan all along was to do this.
So what if Holmes said, okay, sure. And why did he even show up there? Why not? I mean, this gave Holmes the idea that he might be after him, It's funny because in the original, Mrs. Hudson was moving the little statue around, and the statue wasn't of Caesar. It was just something he had made out of wax or something. This is where he says prominent men have prominent noses. I love that line.
I could use that line. I have a big schnoz. And this poor guy, he's not going to last long.
Well, he's still under the influence, quotation figures. Discharged from the army as physically unfit. In other words, he was just there to shoot Holmes because he doesn't fit into the mold of who she would hypnotize in the first place.
Okay.
Sniper. You're a sniper, aren't you? Sniper.
I don't think this is a thing that can happen. I'm just saying that.
What? This is completely
Manchurian Candidate?
Well, that was a little bit more believable, but I don't know. I love movies where Angela Lansbury gets shot right in the forehead.
Do you now?
Yeah, Manchurian Candidate and Death on the Nile.
So she's been shot several times.
Yes, twice that I know. Those 2 times, but I don't think she was ever shot in any of our other movies. I mean, Auntie Mame doesn't get shot, right? No, I don't think so.
This is a photo often used for this episode. It's in my my comprehensive Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes book.
So they're just gonna like talk about this poor guy and then just let him out in the street to go. What's he gonna do? They should call special services.
No, they don't let him out. Actually, he goes out with the cop, doesn't he? There's Watson being. You got a phone number?
Oh my God!
It's so ridiculous. Lustrous eyes.
So dumb. Oh my God! Yeah. Yeah.
Watson, how old are you, man? I mean, come on. Let's be real, man. Let's be real.
Hey, you never know.
Just let him out. Put his hat on. That's the best part.
Let's go. I'll call you an Uber. You'll get home just fine.
Yeah, call him an Uber. Thanks, old boy. Something to eat? You just almost died tonight. But they're gonna order Uber Eats anyway, so you might as well just have the Uber come.
Are you kidding? This is Uber Eats. This tea here is from Uber Eats. They ordered it.
This is from Starbucks?
Yeah, they had to order it 3 days ago because that's how long it takes. to deliver the tea.
on a horse and carriage.
Yeah.
Uber Eats with a horse and carriage.
I've got your tea, sir. Here's your tea. It's like Oliver Twist.
It's like a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah. There's something about watching stuff like this. When they drink tea, it's like, oh, I'd really like to have some tea.
Absolutely.
And then like, oh no, I gotta go again and put it in the thing and you wait and boil it, yeah, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna grab a can of Coke Zero.
You literally just need to boil water.
Or you can, if you have like one of those,
Keurig.
those Keurigs, you could just like boil the water in a Keurig and.
Absolutely.
I guess.
Sorry, I've been distracted for the last 12 minutes.
That woman.
Because the actor who plays Moriarty looks so familiar.
I could tell because you didn't say a darn word.
The actor who plays Moriarty, he looks so familiar to me, like with more modern actors, and I had to figure it out, but I couldn't think of the actor's name. Finally found George Hamilton.
Yeah. He does look like George Hamilton.
George Hamilton.
Thank you.
Wow.
And, I tried Googling a million things trying to figure out, I couldn't think of anything he starred in, George Hamilton. You know how I found him finally?
And Love at First Bite.
Well, I haven't seen it, but do you know how I finally Googled him? I tried so many different things, search terms. I just typed in tan debonair actor. Boom. That's the one that got it.
Oh, he's dead, Jim.
Yeah, George Hamilton is still with us, but
is he?
He was one of the great Columbo murderers.
Oh,
he did it twice. Twice he was a murderer.
Yeah, he played that vampire in Love at First Bite. It's one of the first movies I ever saw in my life.
Wait, what year is that movie?
1980.
Oh, wait! I need to address this.
1980.
This comes out of nowhere.
Oh, Dr. Sindel. Dr. Sindel and his doll.
Yeah, this is out of nowhere.
Well, go ahead and address this, and I'll tell you what the plan was for him. Okay, go ahead.
It just comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna be the creep. I love this character. He's gonna be the creepy doctor with the dolls, like he's like Dr. Giggles or something. But I am the doll thing doesn't return. Like that's it. But the
doll thing doesn't return because when they removed the little girls from this, the doll thing didn't make sense.
Oh.
But if it's little girls, then the doll thing suddenly makes sense.
Oh, God, that just made... I mean, the little girls dying was creepy in the first place, but adding the dolls to that...
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty fucking dark.
Oh, she looks the best here, by the way. I love her with her hair down.
Yeah, she looks fantastic.
She looks absolutely... Why didn't she go out like that?
And the creepy actor with the scalpel...
Keep the hair down, baby.
The creepy actor with the scalpels looks like Ian Holm playing old Bilbo Baggins in Lord of the Rings.
Yes. I want it.
Yeah, especially when he makes that creepy CGI face in Lord of the Rings. That Ian Holm.
He doesn't look like George Hamilton. He looks like the actor that was with Judi Dench in that When Time Goes By show. He was also in the Doctor Who and the Silurians. That's who he reminds me of. No? Nobody knows? Okay.
No. Which character in Doctor Who and the Silurians?
He plays a politician. He's the one that gets sick.
Or the MP, member of Parliament.
Oh, yeah, the MP. Yeah, he was also in the Mutants. That same guy.
And he was in James Bond. He was Judi Dench's like right-hand man, at least until he died.
Yeah, he always played like guys in the army and stuff like that.
And he was always opposite Judi Dench too. Like I guess they came as a pair at one point or something. I don't know, but
he's the first guy to die of the Silurians disease that they put around.
Yeah.
Oh, Dr. Onslow. By the way, you'll recognize this. Might not recognize this guy now, but he was in Face's Death. He was the oldest brother in Face's Death. Dr. Onslow there. He will also be in Terror by Night, and he will be in Dress to Kill. I don't know the name of the actor, but recognize him from both of those things. This is a scene that really kind of annoyed me, but I understand why they did it. It was done because Watson hasn't had enough like bumbling and jumbling and gumbling scenario here.
Yeah. I kind of freaked out when they put that.
The needle through his hand?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't think
that's
don't do that.
Yeah, this whole movie has so many issues for me. Do you know, like, if you think about the first script of this, like, imagine trying to put that out there with the little girls and also this hypnosis thing.
Yeah.
I would have, like, walked out at that point.
Well,
give me the long needle. The same needle they used in Faces Death, by the way. Not confirmed.
I hope they watched it. I like this bit where he's looking over all the people to find his murderer, the lady that here's another Dutch angle, comes out of nowhere. Yeah, this is all padding. This was not, all this shit wasn't needed at all. We don't have to have a whole exposition on hypnotism. Although I do like the fact that they are at the Mesmer Institute.
Yeah, it's the Mesmer Club.
Yeah, the Mesmer Club. And Mesmer, of course, was like the father of hypnotism. And also where they got the word mesmerize from.
Oh, by the way, the other thing is, that's true. But the other thing is, like, he doesn't have any pain from the fact that somebody thrust a needle all the way through his hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe right now he doesn't have any pain, but at some point he's going to be like, shit, my freaking hand hurts. Wonder why my hand hurts.
There's a black line going up my hand to my heart. Maybe I should call a doctor.
There's a hole in both the back of my hand and the front of my hand. Where did I get that?
Jesus.
Feeble-minded.
Oh, yeah, this is... Okay. Oh, well, I'm happy to oblige. Happy to oblige. Oh, yeah, this is bullshit. The only thing he didn't say is this is bullshit, which he should have said.
Oh.
All right. Are you going to get hypnotized from this?
Now, while I don't think you hypnotize someone to go on a murder,
He's already tired. Sorry, go ahead, Eric. He's already tired.
Does there not seem to be some people who, I don't know, when you watch some of those hypnosis demonstrations, quote unquote, and they say that there's a certain percentage of people who are susceptible to some type of hypnosis. It's hard for me to imagine that all of them are all cooked. The demonstrations that I've seen, like on television, or
no, it's a real thing. But I'm just like,
oh yeah, I know. It's
you gotta want to do it. You gotta want to do it. If you don't want to do it, you won't fall into this.
You know, it's interesting because the George Hamilton in one of the episodes, he plays a psychiatrist who hypnotizes his clients.
Oh, he's falling asleep with his tongue out.
Yeah, it's great.
He'd be a candidate for a CPAP.
He didn't have those back then. That's why he's dead now.
I love the dramatic mask on the wall.
That's pretty cool.
It looks like who does that look like, you guys? The mask on the wall.
Looks like the dinner gong from Murder by Death. Oh,
it's like the episode of Silence in the Library. He's actually a librarian.
Dr. Moon.
Or, is that like a death mask? Remember how that was a trend?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Come on.
Okay, so do you guys know what the censors what they objected to during this scene that was switched, that was changed for the movie?
Is it him showing?
Oh, he was supposed to take his pants down.
Yeah, so they changed it to just rolling up a pant leg.
He was supposed to take his pants down. Yeah. Can you imagine? They have the little girl. Imagine the original script on this. Like, the little girl's dying, and the doll, and Watson taking his full pants down.
Yeah,
oh, God.
but no,
it would have been so much better.
It's so dark, and they're farting around at the Mesmer Club. It's like, guys, little girls are dying, or women are. It makes no difference, but little girls are more. It's more visceral.
By the way, when you're hypnotized, you wake up. The first thing you do is touch the back of your neck. That will happen again. It happens every time.
I'm touching the back of my neck.
His leg almost looks like clean shaven.
Well, did you know that when you get older, the hair falls off of your legs, so you will have less hairy legs when you get older? Did you know that?
Oh.
You may have noted it already.
I thought it was just the genitals.
That explains my mom.
That doesn't explain the genitals, because they seem to keep growing and growing and growing. The hair, not the genitals.
We'll need to compare.
Oh, I like this fake. By the way, I love the fake anger here. This is great. I beg your pardon, sir. Like, Moriarty assumed that she would attract him to go to the Pembroke house with him and attract him to come back. Like, it's strange to me knowing that he's really never shown an interest in women at all.
No. Well, Moriarty says early on, he says, well, his only weakness is his curiosity. He can't help to follow you home if he thinks you're up to no good or something like that.
Oh, that's a good point. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, now she's making a facial expression that looks like Nurse Ratchet.
What are they drinking?
I think it's just wine in a little itty bitty glass.
By the way, they're on the same table as her and George were.
There's another Dutch angle.
Yeah, lots of these. Didn't notice that now that you guys mentioned it.
I definitely noticed. I apologize for the rave going on next door.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Oh.
The rave.
I hear thundering bass on my end right now.
Thundering Bass is the name of my 12th album.
So he knows how she's doing it.
Yep.
He's gonna set a trap, have her bring him back to her place.
Right, and then have everybody show up in the nick of time.
Mm-hmm. And almost fall off the roof.
Yeah, he just doesn't hit the brick.
Yeah, that was a little bit anxiety-inducing for me.
Man,
I always say, how unenterprising of you. Anyway, go on.
no, her brooch is like a chimera of a seahorse and a swordfish. Of course, they don't want to show it once I say it.
It's all in your head, Eric. You're just...
And a fetus. It's a spawn of a fetus and a seahorse and a swordfish.
And a fetus.
And a chameleon.
I have wine glasses like that. Terrible.
Like Sherlock's or hers?
Like Sherlock's. You can pour well, you know what? For a normal person, it's probably normal, but I feel like it's just so small you can't pour much wine in it. Okay, so these two portraits above the bookcase were actually...
Never noticed.
They're Degas, and they featured heavily in an episode of Columbo in which somebody killed his uncle to get those paintings.
This is when she offers him the cannabis japonica.
Oh. Was I asleep or drunk or something when I watched this? I wasn't. I don't know why.
Shaw was probably smoking pot during this scene.
I don't smoke pot,
sir. He lit up a gummy.
It's definitely legal here.
Well, I did. We're right about that, Eric. Yeah.
It's really quite harmless. Cannabis japonica. Cannabis japonica is not a thing.
Well, it sounds like weed from Japan is what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's weed from Japan.
Well, it could be like a street name, like Pineapple Express.
Purple Couche or something.
Strawberry cough.
Oh, I'm
Ooh,
sorry.
it's also in a pill.
I'm sorry, Stan. I can't tonight. I have Purple Couche.
By the way,
Very contagious.
By the way, when you take it like that, like it's not going to affect you right away. So, I mean, it would take hours for that thing to affect him. Yet we're going to go do the little thing on the table there, little rose and the.
Yeah, that's what she uses to hypnotize him. It's like Vietnamese water puppets. It's a real fucking thing. I actually saw them.
Vietnamese water puppets.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's a thing. Look that up on you.
What do you guys think about what's about to happen, which is this like kind of special effects going on here?
That didn't look so bad. That was okay. I mean, if the purpose is to hypnotize her victim, she's pretty good,
Yeah, it looks like
she's the best.
Looks like a pensive from Harry Potter.
Where's the maid? Oh, there she is. Okay, just check it.
Wow, these Vietnamese water puppets are fascinating.
And look at the way she's touching the back of his neck.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That would put me under. Somebody touching me like that.
It'd give me a boner.
He's got one right now.
Yes, I do. How did you know?
That was also in the original script.
A boner?
The original script. Yeah, he had a boner there.
Oh my gosh, what is happening? This is like the communication screens in Flash Gordon, the original Flash Gordon, the serial.
Drawing you down. You know what? She's beautiful. I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
She's doing that.
Guys, just going to say 2 words. Get out. That's all I'm going to say. This is where they got it.
I don't remember these visuals. I must have.
I don't remember them either, which is strange.
You don't remember the visuals? It's like the whole story's around.
I must have checked my email. Or yeah.
Yeah, I must have been vigorously writing in my notebook.
Nice close up of I believe it's Hillary Brooke.
Yeah, how old she was at this time?
About 30, 32, maybe?
Yeah, she was 30, 31.
What's the maid's name? Is it
I'm trying to figure out what's happening on the horse up there. It looks like 2 adults are having some Kama Sutra on top of a horse.
Well, how do you think he got the guys to show up? Oh, there's Dr. Sindel.
Bilbo Baggins.
So, Josh, what was with the dolls that they were they going to do something with the dolls that?
No, I mean, it was just to show that he was the one who did the surgery.
Oh, okay, I see. So he would say creepy stuff about, we can cut her open.
Yeah.
So he's like a pediatric surgeon or something?
Yeah, he's just a creepy P-file.
P-file?
I don't want to say it.
I didn't want to say the whole word.
Because if this ever goes on YouTube, they'll demonetize.
It will go on YouTube.
Oh, that's right, it will. That's right.
That's why I didn't say the whole word. There's one test for profound hypnosis. That's the reason why you had the whole thing with the needle through the hand. And we don't actually see what he does here to Holmes. But apparently there is a medication out there, guys, and we need to go find it. I think Pfizer has come out with this, where you are perfectly okay, but you don't feel any pain.
Oh, it's called cannabis japonica.
He didn't actually take the cannabis.
So you can see there's like a little cut on the back of his neck where the doctor cut him with the scalpel.
This is another, by the way, another picture that you commonly see is Holmes writing the suicide note without looking down.
I could see that. It's a good little tableau there. I almost said montage. A tableau.
Tableau is a Salesforce product. But anyway, let's move on. He's able to write. That's very impressive that he's writing. Sign your name.
No, but God, this Sherlock guy had some really shitty handwriting for his suicide.
By the way, he's blotting it. I love that. I love blotting it because that's what you do. Put it in your pocket so it can be found. Okay. Oh, we're going to the terrace now. Okay. All right. So basically, we're going to make this last as long as freaking possible.
Yeah. Here, watch them walk up the steps. Watch him get
Slowly.
I turn step by step.
Make sure this takes 4 hours.
That's terrifying, though. I can't look at it. I really.
Oh, it's a nice broad terrace. Nice broad terrace.
Mm.
By the way, would anybody say anything if he fell off her roof? Like,
Oh, it's the brick from the cigarette.
yeah.
Why don't they just push him?
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, pushing him would be the best solution here.
I saw St. Paul's Cathedral on the backdrop.
And by the way, he falls there. Aren't they going to question her because she lives there?
Well,
Tell me.
it's supposed to be suicide, so
We're supposed to watch him commit suicide off this woman's roof?
yeah, people do that. I don't know why, but people do it in real life. Oh, and just like that, Watson shows up with the cops.
Yeah, good timing. If he'd waited any long... By the way, I love the backdrop there. Nice.
I just don't need the fold in it.
Steady Holmes.
Whoa! Bloody hell, Holmes.
Of course. You know what would be great is if they let Watson die right there. That would have been awesome. It's the only thing that would have made this movie better.
He was arrested for speeding? Or he didn't want to get arrested for speeding.
What?
That's why he was so late.
He said, what took you so long? And Watson said, arrested for speeding.
So he just said he took this thing that made him insensitive to pain, but, not able to be hypnotized. It's like this incredible pill. Like, I'm waiting for Pfizer to, start advertising.
Yeah.
Do you not want to feel pain? And do you need to pretend to be hypnotized?
Common side effects include sterility.
And now, Professor, our score is settled.
Oh, I'm going to kill myself. Goodbye. Holmes. Oh.
I mean, he didn't want to kill himself, but, this drain pipe is really terrible.
Yeah, and somehow he, transformed into a different actor as he was running. The greatest trick of all.
Do we have to prepare for the fact that it wasn't really him? And
Yes. Yes, make sure that the moment has been prepared for.
he's going to regenerate at the bottom. He's going to turn into John Sim. It's a privilege to watch over our city.
The end.
I mean, again, they've cut down the long speeches that Holmes does at the end, but whatever, all good. So that's A Woman in Green, you guys.
Oh, well.
Hilary Brooke in all her beauty, she was tremendous. Oh, so Sally Shepherd was Crandon. I think I was wrong. I think you're right. That was the same lady who played Mrs. Monteith. I'm gonna have to go check that. I think it was Sally Shepherd that played both roles.
Well, it's on the same disc. I could literally look it up right now.
You could. So, Sean, what'd you think of Woman in Green?
This is my least favorite episode.
Whoa.
There was not a story in here. It was boring. I mean, nothing. Okay, so he finds out that people are killing ladies to blackmail wealthy businessmen. Okay, that's great. Blah blah, and it took forever. And this movie's only what 57 minutes long. And by the way, that is Sally Shepherd in House of Fear.
Yep, you were right. I was wrong. Absolutely wrong.
It's a dull mystery. It's like, okay, after Sir George dies, and it's like, oh well, Sir George is dead. Okay, well, let's keep on sleuthing. I felt like that he might be more. He should be more in the mystery because, the whole mysterious circumstances where he just seems like he could be the killer. He wakes up, after a binge in a bed and breakfast, and I was into that and everything that he was doing, and the fact that he was like, a possible suspect, but obviously he didn't do it, and then boom, he's dead. I'm like, okay, we're not going to get any more mileage out of that one. And it was just, oh my god, it was too long. Like 50.
You know what would have been better?
What?
Had they made us care more for George Fenwick, or maybe make Watson be accused of murder.
I think that is a good idea. I think you are absolutely right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like make Watson be accused of murder, and that way you have a lot more, I don't know, interest in the results. Like for me, I didn't care about George Fenwick at all. Like,
yeah.
Who cares? So he died. Big deal. Like, make it really... And we never got back to the cops, right? Like, that whole thing at the beginning of the Jack the Ripper thing, it set something up that was the most amazing thing, and then it just kind of was one guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I agree with you. I think this one suffered from a lot of stretch, and we're going through a period of Sherlock Holmes where, one movie's good, the next movie is really terrible, the next movie is pretty good, the next movie's terrible.
There he goes again.
No, I'm talking about just in the last several movies, like
the past one.
Yeah. So like, because House of Fear was pretty successful, like they had to push this one out quickly. The whole, I don't even like the title of the movie.
Yeah, it's very misleading. Yeah.
Title of the movie is Woman in Green, and she never wore green, and it's black and white, so how would we know anyway?
Well, they would tell us, but they don't.
They don't even say it, yeah. Like, it none of it makes sense, and, besides looking at Hillary Brooke, there is no, nothing that's redeemable really about this one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Eric, how about you?
So just to add a little bit of context, I read that when they were promoting this film, the studio, they were saying that they were going to have like new dedication to the Sherlock series, that they were going to go all out with the budgets, that they were going to like elevate the production and start making like legitimate films or whatever. But it was all press talk. Like none of that was actually real. Like,
well, there was some effects that they put in, right?
Oh yeah, but they didn't increase. But they didn't.
They've never done before.
No, they had effects and whatnot, but they didn't increase the budget. Is the point? Although they said they would. Actually, my take on the movie overall is a bit different than both of you, because I was all in at the beginning, and I was more engaged than I have been with several of the preceding films. And actually, I was, aside from the bright lighting, aside from that, I was very much enjoying the film until Holmes sits down with Hillary Brooke at the club. And then from that point onward, I thought the whole movie went to hell. It seemed to me that, now this is my perspective, that they were making a legitimate effort with this movie. But then once they got to that scene, they saw they only had like 15, 20 minutes more and they were done. and they just like I felt like everything was mailed in. Like everything felt extremely too obvious and just
yes,
like let's get the hell out of here. Like we got to go home.
We only have 15 minutes of film left.
That's the feeling I got at that stage of the movie, and it just kind of ruined it. And I hate this, and maybe it's because they are making shorter run B movies, but I have felt this so many times in this series where I find the beginning quite intriguing, and then it just all goes to hell, or it doesn't deliver. And that's one thing I'm going to remember that like really pains me, bothers me in retrospect about the series as a whole.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, Eric, it's really the funny thing is that it tries to be formulaic, but it never is. It's never formulaic. It's always something just slightly different about each situation, each film, and this one came across as a detective show, a 30-minute, 42-minute detective show versus a movie.
Absolutely.
And so, and by the way, it doesn't get any better from here in that regard, from the standpoint of the detective part of it. But the only thing, I have to say something good about it, the only thing I appreciated was the callback to the empty house and the callback to the final problem. I like that. At least they were trying to bring in the original material to some degree, and trying to fit that in. But at the end of the day, like, you're right. I mean, it was so light. I mean, in context, it was really light. And as a result, like, the end was just like making sure that, as usual, making sure that Watson gets there in time with the police. That happens way too many times.
It's ridiculous. It's.
I wonder. I'm sorry. I just did some instant research. I wonder if this is why it was called The Woman in Green, because according to this random article, from the late 1700s through around the 1960s, the color green was associated with like toxic or toxicity, or something that can make you ill. I wonder, because I'm just trying to think of some reason why they would do that.
You know why? Because of that. Oh, what was that chemical that they were making? And it was
yes.
They were putting it on. Yeah, it's a green dye.
Yeah, there was multiple. There was pigment green 50, 36, 7.
Cannabis japonica, which is also green.
In historical times, I mean the 1700s, 1800s, they would make green out of arsenite, which was a toxic chemical, which was also called Scheele's green. And apparently, let's see, I guess it got popular in the 19th century, and they would like use it for like painting walls and painting or dyeing clothing and children's toys, but then it was making like a lot of people sick.
It's really
from the vapors.
It's really great that they put it on children's toys. That's a great idea.
It says here, some historians believe the pigment caused the death of Napoleon Bonaparte in 1821 from his bedroom wallpaper. Sounds legit.
Well,
How many people died as a result of shit like that? It's just like...
I died from my wallpaper. Well, I remember seeing a video one time. This whole family, like in Russia or some shit, died from rotten potatoes in the cellar.
Oh my god!
That's
so Monet, the painter, obviously would use this green dye, and some people think that's how he developed blindness.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
remember the old days where you could just die from anything? Yeah, that's perfect.
And I like this too. I don't know this painter Paul Cézanne, also historical. Some people think that was the cause of his diabetes. That's what I'm going to tell the doctor. He's asking me what's going on. I've been painting in green.
Nothing to do with McDonald's quarter pounders with cheese. It has to fully do with.
It's very specific.
It
causes diabetes.
So, like, how many Oh God, how do I do this? How many Doctor?
There's so many things to choose from.
How many Dr. Sindel's dolls do you guys give this one?
I was definitely reminded of the Barbie movie just by seeing the porcelain looking doll in this movie.
That was disturbing. It's even more disturbing when you find out what the real reason for that was. But Sean, how many Dr. Sindel's dolls do you give?
This is my least favorite that we've seen so far, and I wasn't trashing it half as much as I seemed to be trashing House of Fear, but this was much worse, and I shall never see this again. So I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. Just cut it down.
Your poor grandmother.
What do you mean?
Who actually thought you'd enjoy this.
She saw it for $2 in the bargain bin next to Night of the Living Dead and It's a Wonderful Life. At Woolworths.
So you give it.
That's probably where she bought it.
So you give it 2.5 Dr. Sindel's dolls.
Yes, two is a nun doll, a nurse doll, and half of a Black Dahlia doll. I don't know.
Black Dahlia. That's interesting.
Yeah, the murder where the girl was cut in half.
Yeah, I'm a Ghost Adventure.
Nice, deep cut.
Deep cut.
Let me say from our not sponsored Rotten Tomatoes that Woman in Green critics score 100%, but bear in mind there's only 8 critic reviews posted for this movie.
You mean Rotten Tomatoes wasn't around in 1945 when the movie came out?
Yeah, 7 of those reviews are written by Harry Knowles.
Audience score 57%.
Wow.
Wow. Let me read the little movie info.
That's better than I thought. That's actually better than I thought.
Let me read the little synopsis here. When a number of attracted women are found dead and with fingers missing, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson investigate. Though evidence points to a psychotic killer, Holmes begins to believe that there's more to the case than initially meets the eye, a notion that leads him to uncover the involvement of his arch enemy, Professor Moriarty. Who is working with Moriarty on such a dastardly plot, and what are their motives?
Dastardly.
That sounded great, by the way. I just don't know.
Definitely dastardly. I'll give it that.
Oh my! Dastardly. Well, just to bother Sean more, I have to read some of the snippets from the critics.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to bring up Christopher Nolan again.
No.
What was the budget for the movie anyway? Do we know the budget?
Superior entry in the delightful Basil Rathbone Nigel Bruce series. That was Phil Hall. It's one of the best in the series, partly because it strays from formula and partly because it summons some genuine mystery.
Okay.
Let's see.
I don't think so.
Engaging in the way it predates both the serial killer narrative and the mind control paranoia that infused Cold War films.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. Now, for me personally, this movie actually, from what we've seen, which is most of the series at this point, this is somewhere above middle of the pack for me. I don't know how to say it's like nearly 3/3 of the way. Like if you look at the ranking, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Because if I say 75%, that's not what I mean. But it's in the upper, just getting into the upper quarter for me of all the films that we've seen.
Eric, how many hundredths?
Hold on, let me get my slide rule. And
get your slide rule. Get the get out your level.
Let's see, 28 grains of rice on the Asiatic scale.
What?
But in the doll scale, it'll be a 3 out of 5 for me.
And a bag of carrots.
Okay, so 3 out of 5 dolls. All right, so I'm going to give this 2.5 Dr. Sindel dolls. I always had an issue with this one, just because I just thought it was, maybe I didn't like the fact that Lestrade wasn't in it. Maybe I didn't.
I don't like that at all.
Maybe like I didn't like the fact that like it was so like if I compare this to Pearl of Death, I feel like there was more in Pearl of Death to worry about than this one. Like there were several deaths. The deaths didn't hit me as hard in this one as the other ones because we only really experienced 1 or 2 deaths in this one.
Mhm.
So, like, I just feel like, and I didn't really care about George Fenwick that much.
Oh yeah, not at all.
You know what I mean? That's why I bring up the fact that, like, if we just had, Watson being subject to something like this, it would have been much more interesting. So along those lines, I mean, from a Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes scenario, I mean, it's always fun to watch. I will watch it again. I will continue to watch all these movies, but it's not the first one I'll pull off the shelf by any stretch.
Okay.
It's okay. It's all right. So 2.5, or what did I say? 2.5?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Dolls. Yeah, that's where it kind of falls. Kind of halfway. Anyway, so that's that. Next week, folks. No, not next week, but next time we meet is Pursuit to Algiers. Can't wait.
I expect there'll be lots of international intrigue and camels. There must be camels.
Nope.
There will be camels, right?
Nope. No camels.
Fez? There'll be a Fez. Will Sherlock Holmes wear a Fez?
No Fez, but it will be, and Eric will appreciate this. This will be our first musical Sherlock Holmes. So get ready, guys. We're gonna go to music.
I don't know if it'll eclipse Dr. Dolittle in the musical department.
Oh, it totally. Oh my god, it's so well. It's so well. I can't wait to do Pursuit to Algiers with you guys. It's gonna be so much fun.
See, I don't believe anything that he's saying, Eric. I just think he's just bullshitting constantly.
I'm totally. You know what the problem with the way I've approached this is I have not bullshitted you guys at all, and maybe I should do a little bit.
I know the truth because I did a little bit too much research for this movie, but yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay, Sean, take us out.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us for this very, very special commentary for The Woman in Green. I have been Sean.
I have been Eric.
And I've been Josh.
Until next time. When a pretty lady invites you to her house and she has
something on the...
She offers you cookies and she has a pond on her coffee table.
Don't panic. That was fun.
Cookies.
It was good. It was fine.
In all seriousness, I just can't wait till next time we do this. The next one. This one I was never like excited to go through, but the next one I am.